Hello everyone and welcome to the class. My name is Audrey and today of course we will be having a reading lesson. So I hope you've taken a look at the description that tells you a little bit about our article, but I'll tell you about it now as well. Okay, so our article is about living alone. A lot of times people see this as being disconnected from society and from your community. So we're going to read an article about that. The article does take an opinion, so it's perfect for if you want to disagree or agree, you can debate your opinion. Okay, so we will read the article, we'll break it into sections, and so I'll correct your pronunciation as we continue through the article. And of course, you can ask me any questions that you have about the vocab or the phrases, and we can learn them together, okay? So it's always great to learn these new vocab words in context. Our context is going to be this article about living alone. Okay, so as soon as we get started, we're going to go ahead with our introductions. And as you introduce yourself, we'll ask you, do you live alone or who do you live with? Okay, so in just a moment, everybody will be able to join the class. Right now is our time reserved for premium users. So those of you who have a reservation can join now. And if you're interested in becoming a premium member, just click on Get Reservations at the top and you can learn a little bit more about how to reserve a spot in the class. Okay, so I hope that you all will enjoy this class, and I hope it'll be an interesting topic. So it's always, as always, going to be a combination of both reading and speaking, okay? There'll be plenty of opportunity for you to express your opinion about the article as well. So let's see who we have. Jeko?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Great, nice to see you. Where are you from?
From Italy.
Okay, very good, very good. Did I say your name okay?
Yeah. My real name is Mattia. Jeko is just a nickname.
Okay, so can you say your real name one more time?
Mattia.
Mattia.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. So I'll try to remember. Okay, let me know if I say it wrong.
Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like everybody is able to join. So if you would go ahead and join so we can get started here in just a moment. Okay, there's usually a little bit of delay as everyone's joining, so if we'll just wait about a minute and then we'll get started.
Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Very good, very good. I can't see who's talking yet.
I am Ahmed. Okay, I open the camera.
Oh, very good,
Can
very
see
good,
me?
Ahmed.
It's okay.
Yes, it's just a little bit slow right now as everybody is entering and loading, but in just a moment I'll be able to see everybody.
That's okay.
Okay, so very good. Welcome to the class, all of you. As I said, this article that we're going to be reading today is about living alone and what some of the maybe benefits and consequences are. Okay, and again, this article is an opinion article, so be thinking about what the author thinks, what the author's opinion is about living alone, and see if you agree with the author. Okay, so we are going to get started with our introduction. So tell us your name, where you're from, and who you live with. So do you live alone? Do you live with your family? Who do you live with? So let's start. Let me see. Is it Ahmed?
Okay.
Over on the left?
Okay, I am Ahmed. Me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I am Ahmed. I'm from Egypt. I live here with my family in Cairo. Um, I travel more, and so I'm used to be alone more times. And very nice to meet you.
Yes, very nice to meet you as well. Okay, very good, very good. So you live with your family, but you're alone sometimes when you
Yes,
travel.
yes.
Okay, great. We also have Hun. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. And you?
Great. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, me too. Nice to see you, everybody.
Yes, wonderful. So tell us where you're from.
I'm from Vietnam.
Okay, very good. And the topic today is about living alone. So tell us who you live with, or do you live alone?
This, I think in this moment I will stay at home, stay in my room alone. But actually, I'm not alone because I join verbing with everybody and you, my
Yes,
teacher.
very good, very good. So we're not alone, we're all together, right?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
very good, very good.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. Igor, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, nice to see you. Where are you from?
I'm from Russia. Where are
Okay.
you from?
I'm from the US. I live in the state of Alabama.
Cool.
Okay, very good, very good. So who do you live with, Igor?
I live with my family.
Okay, very good, very good. And what do you think about living alone? Would you want to live alone?
No, I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. You like to live with your family then, right?
Sure.
Okay, very good, very good. Let's see.
Thank you.
We have Innocence. Are you there? You might need to unmute your microphone. So you might need to click the microphone icon above the Verbling chat. Okay, let us know if you get your microphone working. We also have Ismail. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Teacher, how are you?
I am great. It's nice to see you. So tell us, Ismail, where you're from and who you live with.
I am connecting from Turkey, Ankara. I live with my family.
Okay, very good, very good. And what do you think about living alone?
I sometimes miss to live alone, but when I would live alone, I get bored in a while, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it can be very
Because
boring.
we need sometimes friends
Mm-hmm.
to talk
Yeah.
with, and
Okay, very good, very good.
there are pros
Um,
and cons to live
right,
alone.
exactly. Pros and cons to everything.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's go to. I've forgotten your name already. I'm sorry. I have a terrible memory. Jeko?
Is Mattia.
Mattia, Mattia.
Yeah.
I'll try. Okay, so, and you said you're from Italy, right?
Yeah. From
That part I remember.
a little village near me.
Sorry, can you say one more time?
Yeah. A little villa near Milan.
Okay, very good, very good. And who do you live with, Mattia?
I live with my parents and sister.
Okay, very good, very good. And what do you think? Would you like to live alone?
No, I hope to always live with me or a friend or with my next wife
Mm-hmm.
if I have one.
Yes, very good, very good. Let's see. We have. Help me with your name. Nukmal.
Yeah,
Is
hello.
that right?
Yeah, you pronounce it right.
Okay, very good. I got lucky with that. So tell us where you're from, Nukmal.
I'm from Malaysia. I'm living with my parents and siblings.
Okay, very good, very good. And do you ever want to live alone?
Not I don't think so.
Okay, very good. Why is that?
Because I don't like to be alone. I want to be with someone. I can't live alone.
Okay, very good, very good. Rafael, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Very glad to join your class.
Yes, I'm glad to see you. So tell us where you're from.
I'm from Spain and I'm happy married, about 30 years of marriage, and I'm used to be with I used to live with my wife, and I think it's a good way to live, better than alone, I think.
Okay, very good, very good. 30 years, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And we have Selma. How are you, Selma?
I'm doing good, thank you, teacher.
Yes, it's nice to see you. So tell us where you're from.
I am from Algeria.
Okay, great. And who do you live with, Selma?
I am living with my family, my father and mother, and my one brother and one sister.
Okay, very good. Do you ever feel like you would want to live alone?
Now, I don't like to live alone because I don't want to take all the responsibilities. Because if I live alone, I need to cook by myself, I need to clean by myself. But when I live with my family, when I got tired from university, I found that my mom cooked the dinner. But if I live alone, I need to cook that by myself. So I don't want to do that.
Right, right. So maybe it's a little bit easier to live with your family, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. Is there anybody who lives alone or lives by themselves? I don't think there's anybody. I don't remember. Maybe
Nothing.
not. Okay, very good. Well, we'll see what you guys think of
How
the
about you?
article. And I live with roommates, so I don't live with my family, but I have roommates.
Where you're from, your friend? Where
Sorry?
your friend from?
Where's my friend from?
Yes.
She is from South Carolina. And I have another, right, South Carolina. And then I have another roommate. She is from Georgia.
Yes.
And then I'm from Arkansas. So we're all from different places.
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. So I don't think I would like to live alone either. I think it would be too boring. But let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at the article and we'll see what we think after. Okay, so you can see the title of this article is Living Alone is the New Norm. Okay, I'm going to give you a link, of course, in the chat. Let me know if you have any trouble accessing the document. Okay, but you can always just click my screen on the bottom and it will stay up. So you can follow along in my screen if you prefer. Okay, so again, as I said in the beginning, we're going to split this up into sections. You can read a section and I'll let you know any pronunciation mistakes that you had, and then we can go over some more vocab questions, okay? We're going to be discussing it throughout, so make sure you're understanding it so that we can discuss, okay?
Okay.
Very good. So Ahmed, would you like to start by reading the title and the introductory sentence?
That's okay. Living alone is a new norm. The extraordinary rise of solitary living is the biggest social change that we have neglected to identify, let alone examine. Consider that in 1950, a mere 4 million Americans lived alone, and they made up only 9% of households. Back then, going solo was most common in the open western states, Alaska.
Okay, go ahead and finish that sentence.
Can I continue, or that's enough?
Yeah, finish the rest of the sentence.
Okay. The extraordinary rise of solitary living is the biggest social change that we have neglected to identify, let alone examine. Consider that in 1950, a mere 4 million Americans lived alone, and they made up only 9% of households back then. Going solo is most common in the open western states, Alaska, Montana, and Nevada, that attract migrant working men, and it was usually short-lived stage on the route to a more conventional domestic life. Not
Okay, very
anymore.
good. You
That's
can
okay.
stop right there. Yeah. Okay, very good, very good. So your pronunciation was very good. I didn't hear any mistakes, so good job.
That's thanks.
Okay, so we're talking about living alone specifically in the US, but it also applies to other countries, of course. So it says that the extraordinary rise of solitary living is the biggest social change we've neglected to identify. What does that mean? What does that first paragraph mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah. Could you put it into different words?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ismail.
There is a change in our social life. We were living together in groups, in family before, but it's a trend, and many people are choosing to live alone. There's a trend in social life in today world.
Right, exactly. So in the past, it was more common for people to live together. And here, especially in America, it's more and more popular to live by yourself. Ahmed, I saw a question in the chat about the majority of American people leaving their home after 18 years. And it's very true that maybe not the majority, but a large percentage of Americans do leave home when they're 18. So the culture is very different. Yes, Ismail?
It is people who are leaving their family. They choose this life, or family sent the young people to a different location or house.
Mm-hmm. It really depends on the family. A lot of times families will, as soon as their child turns 18, they'll say, okay, you can't stay anymore, you have to leave. Or the child also as well. When you grow up in that culture, you're thinking that that when you get to 18, you'll move out. So that's what you choose to do.
If the young people want to live with their family, and the family say to them, go out and live alone, stay out in your lake.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true?
Right, and again, it just depends on the family. Some families will be okay with their children living there, and some families say, no, you have to get a job, you have to live on your own and learn what it's like to support yourself. Okay, so I think it's very different in America from other cultures where the children oftentimes stay with their parents until they're in their late 20s or 30s if they're not married.
Yes, I think Americans have a different culture. Make any person there have self-dependence early from in his life. I have a friend from Chicago. He is 24 years old, but when you talk with him, you think he is more he's 40 or more.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's depend on his culture, his mentality. But I think
Right.
that's very good.
Right. And a big reason for that is because of the universities. In America, it's more typical to move to the university and live in the university. So
Yes.
for me, I moved to the university when I was 17. So I left my parents when I was 17 to live by myself.
That's very good.
Okay. Any other questions? I think it's an interesting cultural topic.
The mean of households.
Sorry, can you say again?
Yeah. What is the mean of or
Household?
yeah?
Okay, a household is everybody who makes up a family in a house. So a household would be, for example, everyone living in that house.
Thank.
Okay?
Yeah.
So here, that passage that Ahmed read says, in 1950, 4 million Americans lived alone. That was 9% of the households. So 9% of houses had only one person living in them. Okay? And that was in
Very low.
1950. Yes, yes. So let's look at the next section, and we'll see what it's like in 2011. Carola, welcome to the class. How are you? I think your
Hello.
microphone. Oh, there you are. There you are.
Hello. Hi.
Where are you
Sorry
from?
for the delay. I'm from Italy.
Okay, great, great. So would you like to read this next section for us? Starts with not anymore.
For the next session, okay.
Okay, can you see it?
Can you repeat, please?
Sure. Can you read the next section of the article for us?
Okay. Not anymore. I begin by not anymore. According to 2011 census data, people who live alone, nearly 33 million Americans, make up 28% of all U.S. households, which means they are now tied with childless couples and the most prominent residential type, more common than the nuclear family, the multi-generational family, and the roommates of group home.
Okay, very good, very good. I just have one correction for you. This word right here, childless. Childless.
Childless.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Everything else was great. So again, we talked about in the previous section, in 1950, in the year 1950, 9% of households had only one person living with them, and this one says 28%. Now it's 28% since 2011. Okay, so it's gone up quite a bit in the past 60 years. Any questions in this section before we talk about it?
What does it mean, census? Census data.
A census. Does anybody know what a census is? Anybody?
Census.
Census.
About census.
Go ahead.
It's about census.
Yeah, about census.
Yeah. I think it's when the government took a survey about how many people live in a state or in a village or in a city, and the state and the government wants to know how many families there are in this village. It's to count how many people lives in a country or in a city or in a village, I think.
Right, exactly, exactly. So a census is like a government survey to find out how many people live in a certain area. Okay, and they don't just, of course they have more data than that. They don't just know how many people, but they also know, for example, if you're living alone or with your family. And they collect a lot of other data with the census. Okay?
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, very good question. Any other questions?
Yes. What does nuclear family mean?
Right, we have the term nuclear family. A nuclear family typically refers to a husband, a wife, and children.
Extended family, nuclear family.
Sorry, can you say again, Ismail?
Teacher, there is two type of families, extended family and nuclear family.
Ah, exactly, exactly. So your nuclear family is going to be just the husband, wife, and their children. And the extended family is going to include your cousins, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents.
Grandmother, grandfather.
Mm-hmm. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? So it says because this has this single person home or single person households make up 28%, they're now tied as the most prominent residential type, meaning there are more people in the US living alone than there are living with their families or with either their nuclear families, their generational families, or with roommates. Okay?
Okay.
Very good. So maybe you don't know the exact data from your country, but what do you think? Do you think that living alone is the most common in your country, or do you think that it's more common to live with your family?
Well, in my country, the most common thing is to live with family. Even if the children get married, they stay in the family house because here the situation is too difficult to find a house, so they stay at their parents' house.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Is it similar in anybody else's culture?
In my country, more and more nuclear family because government pay for the second children.
Oh, so if you have more children, then the government will pay or help?
Yes, pay.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting.
In my country, 5 years ago, before the crisis, there was a lot of people living alone. But nowadays, all of these people are returning to live with her parents and with her grandfather, or live with another roommate, because the crisis has been a terrible impact in the economic of the people, and the people must to return to their old houses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it can be expensive and difficult to live on your own and to try and support yourself. So of course, something like an economic crisis, what's happening in Spain right now, can affect that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good, very good. Anybody else would like to share about their culture?
Yes, in Egypt. Okay, go.
Your turn. Okay.
Go ahead, Carola.
Oh, okay. In my country, there is the same problem. To buy a house or to rent a house is too expensive. It's common to live in family.
Mm-hmm. And you're from Italy, correct?
Yes, Milan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good, very good. And Hung, did you want to add something?
Yes, I think in my country, we have the same problem with another country. You know, in Vietnam, the salary is not enough to live solo, going solo, and stay alone. So we should we should live together to share about rent house and about some to live. We have to buy. We have to buy something. It's very expensive for to stay alone. If we live together, we can share everything, and it's cheaper than the living alone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. So very interesting. This is a topic that can be very different in each country. But let's go ahead and continue. Hung, would you like to read the next one for us?
Okay. There are just transitional living situations. Over a 5-year period, people who live alone are more likely to remain in their current state than anyone else, except married couples with children. They concentrate in big cities throughout the country, from Sister to Miami, Minneapolis to New Orleans. Living alone, being alone, and feeling lonely are hardly the same, yet in the recent years experts has routinely confessed them, raising fear that the rise of solid signaled the ultimate automation of modern world.
Okay, very good, very good. Let me point out a couple words for you, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
So these two right here, routinely.
Routinely. Is that
okay,
right?
very good. Right, routinely.
Routinely.
Okay, very good. And the next one we have conflated.
Conflated.
Okay, very good. Perfect.
I think
okay.
I have a lot of problem in pronunciation.
That's okay, you did very well. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So let's think about some words that we didn't understand. So there were some difficult words. Any questions?
I don't know the word transitional.
Transitional.
Yes, transitional.
Okay. So a transitional living situation. What do you think that could be? Anybody?
Current living situation.
Moving, maybe.
Right. So it could be your current situation if you're going to move in the future. So you're transitioning from one stage to another. You're changing from one to another.
Okay, I understand.
Okay, very good. Any other questions?
Conflating.
Yeah, it says, let's look at the whole sentence so that we can better understand that one. It says, living alone, being alone, and feeling alone are hardly the same. So this author believes that all three of those concepts are different things. They're not the same. Yet in recent years, experts have routinely conflated them. Conflated means they have put them together.
Mix them.
Right, they mix them up or they put them together. So even though the author believes that it's different, it means something different to live alone, be alone, and feel lonely. Experts put them together. They mix them up.
Okay, what about atomization of the modern world?
Yeah, we have the ultimate atomization of the modern world. Atomization, think of atoms being very small particles.
Yes.
So atomization means that we're all separated. We're not together as one. We're all individuals.
Yes. I got it, yes.
Okay, very good. Any other questions before we talk about it a little bit?
I don't know the word conflict.
Right, conflated. That's the one that I described. Did anybody understand that well and would like to put it in your own words?
Combined.
Right, to conflate is to combine or to mix together. Okay, so it says experts have conflated or mixed together these three concepts: living alone, being alone, and feeling lonely. They put them together, meaning that they think they mean the same thing, but the author disagrees. He thinks that these three things are different. Okay, so now I'm gonna
working together.
Right, working together, or to put two or more things together.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so let's think about that. Do you think there's a difference between living alone, being alone, and feeling lonely?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the difference? What's the important difference there?
I think you may live with your family in a big house, but you feel alone at the time. But I think that's referred to what you think about what's problems you face in your life. You can't communicate with others. That makes you feels always alone, and so I think feeling alone feel to me not to if I live with my family or not. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, very good. So you think it doesn't matter who you live with, that feeling alone is a separate emotion.
Of course.
Okay, very good. Any other comments on that idea? What about those first two, living alone and being alone? Is there a difference between those?
Yes.
Okay, what's the difference in those?
Living alone, I think.
Go ahead, Ismail.
Teacher, I think anybody can live alone, but he can a good relationship with their family. But he choose to live in a different home.
Right. So living alone is just about where you live. Being alone, maybe you still have good relationships with your family and friends. So you're not alone, but you are living alone. Okay. Very good. Very good. Any other comments or questions? Okay, let's go to the next section then.
Teacher.
Yes.
I didn't catch the difference between the living alone and being alone. Could you please rephrase? Could you?
Okay.
I mean.
Sure. So let me say, as Ismail described, which is a good description, living alone is just who you live with. So technically, who is living in your house. And maybe being alone would be if you don't have anybody to go to or to visit.
Okay.
Okay, so you can live alone and nobody lives with you, but you still have your family and your friends to spend time with if you want.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, I got it.
Okay, very good. So now we have Claude or Claude, maybe?
Yes. Hello, Claude. How are you?
Okay, very good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Where are you from?
I'm from France.
Okay,
I live in
very
Paris.
Nice.
Yes.
Welcome to the class. Would you like to read the next section for us?
Thank you. The next section. What is the next section?
It starts with the theme of declining.
The theme of declining communities entered popular culture with Bowling Alone, political scientist Robert D. Putnam's book, which was published in 2000. It argued that social splintering had diminished the quality of life in the U.S. More recently, in The Lonely American, Harvard psychiatrist Jacqueline Holtz and Richard S. Schwartz warn that increased loneliness and the movement in our country toward greater social isolation are damaging our health and happiness.
Okay, very good, very good. Let me correct a couple words for you, okay?
Yeah?
So let me see. This word right here, Harvard psychiatrist. Psychiatrist. Okay, do you see it? It's in the second section, psychiatrists.
Harvard psychiatrists.
Right, perfect,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Okay, and the other one was this one. It's in the last line that you read, isolation, isolation.
Isolation.
Okay,
What I said?
perfect, perfect.
What I
Everything
said.
else was good.
What
I don't
said.
remember what you said.
Okay. Social isolation. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, very good. Okay, so now we're talking about
So
two different people.
there's some words I don't understand.
Okay, go ahead and ask.
The stem of declining community entered popular culture.
Okay, to enter popular culture. So
Entered.
go ahead.
That means that the theme of declining community is now in popular culture.
Right, exactly, exactly.
Okay. Political scientist with one's position. It argued splintering. It argued that social splintering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the word splintering used with social splintering just means that we're coming apart. We're being more and more alone.
Okay. More recently, the only.
Okay,
Okay.
any other
Thank
questions?
you. Thank you. No, thank you.
Very good, very good. Any other questions from the rest of the class? Okay, so
Teacher,
yeah, go ahead.
I don't know the word splintering.
Okay, yeah, splintering.
Yeah,
So
that's
splintering
splintering.
means to come apart. So
Sorry?
social, to come apart. So we're becoming
Come.
more apart or more alone.
Come
So it
apart.
says, right, to come apart. So it says social splintering had diminished the quality of life. Social splintering just means being more alone. So we're not being together, we're coming apart.
Yes.
Okay,
I
so we
got
have
it.
two. Sorry?
I got it. Thank you.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so both of these sections are giving two experts' opinions about how this problem, or a problem as these experts see it, is diminishing or damaging the health of the U.S. So they say that it's a problem that we are a more lonely culture, or that we're more isolated. Okay, what do you guys think? Do you think it's a problem?
Yes.
Okay, why do you say so, Ismail?
It's a problem because when we look at the prescription or the medication usage, the medication against psychological problem are increasing today's very up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you
It's
think that that's because of people being alone?
yes, I think that the exact reason is to being alone and not to being alone, but it is related to the modern life, I think.
Okay,
Teach
okay, very good.
Because
Any other?
Yeah, teacher,
Go
may
ahead.
I go? Okay, thank you. So I think that there are a lot of problem arise due to the splintering when somebody just alone. For example, when they are live together, so they can share their grief, their sorrow with each other. And for example, if some things happen seriously, so together they can united stand and they can solve their problem together. But to live alone, so they will not they will not stand strong in order to solve their problem, and they will have nobody to give him recommend how to solve some problem, how to stand against the problem, and how to solve their problems. So I think that these all are due to the splintering. If they live together, if people live together, if they have a big family, so they will have solve their problem. They will face all together, and they can share their sorrow and their problems together. So I think that then there will there will no burden on a single body, but all of them will face the if some if the family is faced with some problem. So not only one person of the family will face with this problem, but together all of them will have this problem.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. So that's definitely a good way to look at it. If the culture is a lot more separate and alone, maybe it could be problematic. Okay, very good. Any other comments?
I think there is no problem because the US population is growing. You are more and more every year.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage who live alone, it's only their personal problem.
Okay, yeah. So you could say it's their choice to live alone.
Yes.
Okay. Any other comments? Comments about that? Okay, maybe not. We'll keep going then. Oh, go ahead. Was it Ahmed? You wanted to say something?
Yes. I think everyone need a time to be alone in his life to think, to meditate. It give everyone a chance to create anything. He must be alone and think. I think and so I think explaining or be alone. It's not. We can't take it from always from the negative way. I think not. We have to take it in a positive way, and that's what I want to say.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so maybe it seems like a negative thing, but sometimes it can be necessary. It can be a positive thing.
Yes, of course.
Okay, very good, very good. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the article. I took a little bit out just to make sure that we could get a little bit further, but let's see. Let me see. Oh, Farhan, would you like to read the next section?
Yeah, but okay, yeah, but what is the meaning of what does diminish mean?
To diminish?
Diminish, yeah.
Yeah,
Diminished.
to diminish means to decrease, or to, in this case, to damage.
Or to
Damage.
stop, I
Okay.
think.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. So where shall I begin, teacher? From which paragraph shall I begin?
It says, in fact. In fact.
Okay. And in fact, there's a little evidence that the rise of living alone is making more American lonely. Reams of published research show that it's the quality, not the quantity, of social interactions that best predicts loneliness. As a University of Chicago social neuroscientist John T. Capo concluded, "What's matter is not whether we live alone, but whether we feel alone. Where we feel alone, there's ample support for the idea outside the laboratory, as divorced or separated people often say there's nothing lonelier than living with the wrong person."
Okay, very good,
My
very good. Let me just point out this word first, laboratory, laboratory.
laboratory.
Okay, remember to pronounce the A, so laboratory.
Laboratory.
Okay, very good, very good. And the other one was this one in the last line, lonelier, lonelier.
Lonelier.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, everything else was great. So what are some questions from these two sections?
Sorry, teacher.
Go ahead.
What did you say? Could you please say it again for me?
Sure. Are there any vocab questions in these two sections? Any words that you didn't understand?
Yeah. No, teacher.
What's the meaning of the rims at the beginning in the second?
Okay,
in the
yeah,
second line?
it says reams of published research. Reams just means a lot, very much. Okay, so we have reams of published research, or a lot of published research that shows this.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Just a grammar question.
Okay.
In the second paragraph, there is nothing lonelier than living, etc. Could I say there is nothing more lonely or nothing lonelier?
This is one of those cases where I think you can use either one. Nothing more lonely or nothing lonelier.
Okay.
Okay, so either one. Sometimes it matters, but in this case, it doesn't matter. They're both okay.
Okay.
Okay, very good question.
Another grammar question, if I may. In the first paragraph, when it says reams of published research, I don't know. I don't understand if it had to be researches, because it's reams is a lot. It's plural. Research it could be or not.
Okay, in this case, research is used more like, it's always used to be singular. So if you want to say plural, you could say studies that were researched. But research is just something that doesn't really have a quantity. It's just always going to be singular.
Thank you.
For example, when you think of water, imagine if you said a lot of water. Even though you have a lot of it, it's still singular.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? Okay, so what are
Teacher,
these? Oh, go ahead.
ample. What's the meaning of ample? Ample.
It says there's ample support, meaning there's sufficient support or enough support.
Okay, sufficient. Okay, enough. Thank you.
Okay, very good, very good. So what are these studies showing? Anybody know?
Yeah, I can say that the research shows that it's not the quantity of the impact of the social interactions that is good for your health. If not, it's more important the quality of the interaction that you have. You could be a lot of friends, but it could be a bad relationship with them, and it's not good for you. If you have it. But if you have a very good relation with anyone, it's better for you. That's the thing. I think is the point in the first paragraph.
Right, exactly. So in this case, translating it to either living alone or with somebody, it doesn't matter if you live alone and you don't see somebody every day and every second of every day, as long as you have somebody that you do interact with and it's a quality relationship, then you still won't be lonely, even if you do live alone. Okay, very good, very good. Any comments or questions on that?
Well, teacher, I think that the use of the word "the wrong person," I think it would be irrelevant, because when we when people are getting married, they are choosing the person that they are going to live with. So how it comes that after a long time they discover, or they found out that this person is wrong. This concept I didn't understand. I cannot understand it very well, because they already chosen this person, and why did they change their mind? Normally they know that person very well, so.
Okay, so yeah, in that last sentence, the last sentence is interesting. It says, divorced or separated people often say there's nothing lonelier than living with the wrong person. And maybe when you're looking for somebody to marry, you pick somebody, but you don't know everything about them, and you later find out that you're not as compatible as you thought you were. And so even if you're married and living with somebody, it can be even lonelier than living by yourself, because you're living with the wrong person. That's what it's saying. Okay, did you understand?
Yeah.
Yes, I got it.
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. So we just have a few more minutes. Let's just read one more section, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. Igor, would you like to read the last section for us?
Yes. Where were we?
It starts with my research.
My research, which includes more than 300 interviews with people who live alone and careful scrutiny of the scientific literature on the social contentions of solo dwellers, shows that most singletons are not lonely souls.
Okay, very good, very good. Let me correct a few words. This one, scrutiny. And then the one right under it, I think you just saw it. It's connections, social connections.
Oh, connections. Thank you.
Okay, very good, very good. So the author is talking about his own personal research, and he describes it, saying that he interviewed over 300 people who live alone and looked at the answers that they gave to find out more about people who live alone. Are there some questions here?
Could you repeat, please, the pronunciation of scrutiny or scrutiny? What's
Scrutiny. Scrutiny.
scrutiny?
Right.
Thank
Okay, very good. Any other questions?
Yes, teacher, could you tell me the word literature?
Literature.
Literature.
What is literature?
Yes.
Does anybody know?
And the word brawler. Sorry, I can speak the word brawler.
Oh, sure. This one is dwellers.
Yeah, brawler.
Okay, so we have solo dwellers, meaning people who dwell alone or live alone. So in this person's opinion, or in this person's research, he found that most singletons, referring again to people who live alone, most people who live alone are not lonely souls. They're not lonely, they just live alone. Okay? And we're going to have to stop there because we're out of time, but does anybody have a last question or comment?
Teacher, I have a question that is but teacher, this is what is could you please tell me the pronunciation of T and D sound? Could you because I'm confused how to pronounce the T and D, please?
Which word or which sound?
T and D.
T and D, like this in the chat?
Maybe I just wanna in general. I just wanted to because I can pronounce T and D sound rightly in a word.
Oh, the difference between the T sound and the D sound?
Yeah. I mean the pronunciation of T and how will be the position of my tongue and my when I just pronounce T and D sound.
Yeah, and it's very complicated sometimes because in a word, the pronunciation can change between whether, even if there's a T written, sometimes you use the D sound, and vice versa. Sometimes you use the T sound when there's a D. But speaking about the tongue, when you make the T sound, your tongue is touching your teeth. The tip of your tongue is touching your teeth. And when you make a D sound, your tongue is more at the back of your throat. Okay, so hopefully, I hope to have maybe a pronunciation class. That's a good idea. And maybe I can help you a little bit more with that.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay, very good. But that's a good question. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. It was an interesting topic, and you all had interesting things to share about your culture. So thank you again. I hope to see you in the future, and take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes, bye-bye.